Welcome to the Good Dad, Bad Dad podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Armand Sheffy, and my other host, as always, is here with me, Eric Schaefer. And we're two very different fathers, finding common ground in parenting special needs kids, sports, nerd culture, and who knows what else. But one thing that we do know, that any day you could be the good dad or the bad dad. We hope you enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. We are excited to be back and talking good dad, bad dad stuff, Marvel, D23.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And Armand and I decided to kind of change it up for this episode. We are having our first special guest.
Woohoo! Who is the special guest? Say hi to the podcast.
Hi guys, my name is Kyle.
Kyle is my almost 10-year-old son, and he wanted to come on the podcast after watching the first couple of episodes of She-Hulk. So I shot Armand a text and I said, hey, he wants to come on and talk. He's got some thoughts on She-Hulk, and he just finished the latest episode maybe about 15-20 minutes ago. So we haven't discussed She-Hulk on this pod yet, so why don't we let Kyle tell us what he likes, what he doesn't like, and we can open up the floor to discuss further.
Honestly, it's one of the best Disney Plus series I've ever watched.
Whoa!
Like from my standpoint, like She-Hulk, because like it does, like because it's literally says She-Hulk attorney at law in the title card, and like it's also like there's some episodes where like she's being a superhero, and there are others where she's being a regular lawyer. But there are some that are just random that have hidden Easter eggs, which I enjoy that.
So you kind of like how she goes between like a superhero and an attorney, huh?
Yeah, because like it was sort of like out of the blue, just like, oh, apparently I'm a superhero now, just random out of the woodwork.
So Armand and I text all the time when we watch these shows, right? We typically get up early in the morning before all of our kids are up. We get about 30 to 45 minutes of alone time.
And although with this show, we don't even need that much.
With She-Hulk, Armand and I are going to pop that bubble, kid, because we think the episodes have not been to Marvel standards.
Yeah.
So here's my thought, and you tell me what you like and dislike about, what we're saying.
Okay.
I thought the first episode was phenomenal.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, it was straight into it. There was already a hidden Easter egg from Thor Ragnarok, which I was like, wait, so what type of ship is that? Is that like a random just ship, or it's a Sakana ship from Sakana, huh?
Yeah, so you get.
So was that at the end? Was that at the end of the episode? I can't remember.
No,
was that from
at the very beginning?
Oh, it's when the ship came when they were in the car talking.
Oh, that's right. They caused the accident.
Yeah. That's a Sakarian ship. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think Armand's not even paying attention to the shows,
because I think you're 100% right.
Hulk comes on and says that he's on his way to Scar.
Yeah. So, but wasn't that after? Yeah. So I remembered that part. I totally forgot that it was the ship in the beginning that caused the whole thing until you started describing it. So this is helpful for me. This is a good recap.
Understand on this podcast that we can disagree and we can agree.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I am the glass half empty. And
we got
half full. So you get.
Did you know your dad has a new nickname?
No.
You can start calling it. No, maybe you shouldn't use it. I don't know. But his nickname, since he's the glass half empty guy, his nickname's Halfy. So, we're gonna start calling your dad Halfy because he's always taking the negative approach on things. Don't get me started about the Bears, at least not yet. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
yeah,
I agree with that, Eric. I thought the first episode was strong. I mean, it might be my favorite. There was another one that I really liked as well, but I think the back and forth with Hulk, like the actual Hulk, as she's kind of like learning how to be a Hulk and training and all that. I think that felt the most like a Marvel product, most like a Marvel movie
yeah,
or one of those things that we were used to. And then I think from there, it really started to, I mean, in some people's mind, maybe they would say it started to develop its own identity of it being a very different kind of thing. For me, it just became, I mean, pedestrian, you
it
know?
it kind of seemed like the head honchos at Marvel and Disney were super excited about doing a show or a movie around She-Hulk.
Sure. Yeah.
And when they came to write it, like a light bulb went off and said, this character just doesn't have the weight to
Mm.
carry a show. And that's why you're kind of seeing the Hulk and Bruce Banner be in the show. You're seeing Wong.
Long,
Wong.
a little
Gotta love Wong.
Daredevil again now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited about that.
So that's kind of, what what I think. I think it's filler until Black Panther, let's be honest.
Like, frankly, I think there's one episode that was just like it wasn't the best episode. It was the last one, the recent one that I just finished watching. I was not a fan of it because, like, when did she copyright it? When did Titania copyright the name She-Hulk? And like the one thing that just I enjoyed about it was at the very end the Easter egg with Daredevil. That just was literally the best part about the whole
That was the
episode.
only
Yeah,
good part of that episode.
honestly, I like She-Hulk, but that episode was just not for me. I was not a fan of it.
Well, I'll tell you, Kyle, hearing you say that, it actually makes me appreciate your opinion about the other episodes a bit more because I was like, if you really love that last episode, I don't feel like I can trust your opinion of the episode. Because I agree the last episode was not great. I mean, it was it was just really lame and
Like the one
dull
thing
and
that
what are we doing here, you know?
like something that could have made it a little better if they had like a mid or end credit scene, like because in a lot of
I
them,
mean,
like was it the first episode? It was either the first or the second. They had the mid credit scene where they show Hulk going on the ship in space,
yeah.
presumably back to Sakaar.
Yeah. They've had a mid-credit scene on
Oh,
every episode except this one. And I feel like this one maybe they felt like they didn't need it because the way the actual episode ended was on a thing that was like that
that's
where
like your
they,
cliffhanger.
spoiler
Yeah,
alert for anybody who
like
hasn't seen these
you're like,
episodes.
isn't Daredevil also a lawyer? Isn't he a
Right.
lawyer?
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, I do like the way that you described it on the front end, Kyle, like how, it's in the title, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. That actually helps remind me, like, oh, they're actually making like a courtroom drama type show. You know what I mean? And then, like, she happens to be a superhero versus it being a superhero show where she happens to be a lawyer, you know?
Yeah, like one thing I'm just thinking it could happen. They could like maybe in the next episode they could have like someone like a Daredevil representing someone and She-Hulk representing another person.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have that as like sort of like a way that they can bring like Daredevil in.
Maybe
That would make sense.
Titania hires Matt Murdock.
Maybe. Maybe.
This is where I'm going with this show, right?
Uh-huh.
I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Where does this show go with Hulk? Because let's be honest, we all kind of tuned in for the Hulk, right?
Yeah. Well, I only tuned in because it's in the MCU.
Yeah.
If DC put this out, for me, This is
Okay.
like CW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, that's great. I don't need to watch it.
They're obviously building a story with
Yeah.
the Hulk, right? So it's either World War Hulk or Planet Hulk that they're gonna do.
Right.
So
And I think they might also be, although I'm concerned because you said it was only going to be one episode, but I was about to say I think they might also be building a little bit of foundation for the reentry of Daredevil.
Yeah.
But if he's only in there for one episode, I don't know what all that's really going to
the
accomplish.
second question, and I will answer your question. The second question that I have is when the wrecking crew tried to jab her with the syringe, when they got back into the car, the leader said, "Did you get it?" And the guy said, "No."
Right.
The boss is not going to be happy. Who's the
Right.
boss?
Who's the boss? Who's the boss?
Maybe someone from Asgard. Maybe.
I mean, that feels like okay because it's all Asgardian weapons, right?
Yeah,
So
like honestly, it might be Titania. It might be.
I don't think Titania. I don't think Titania has.
She has her powers. It looks like almost.
Yeah, and
That's a
although I
good
mean,
thought, but
it's
Yeah,
not a
like,
horrible thought as
maybe-
I think about it because she has powers, but clearly they're not great powers. Like
Yeah,
she got
like-
whooped up
yeah,
real quick.
Yeah, like you can run through walls. It isn't that good.
Yeah,
Can you run through
and
a
she
wall?
already
No.
stole her name. Maybe she was trying to steal her power in addition to stealing her name.
Yeah, like
So
maybe
that could be.
this could be maybe what's her name? Echo from Hawkeye could be the villain. Maybe
Agatha?
Maybe.
Is that what you said?
Oh, Echo.
Echo. Oh,
'Cause she's
yeah, but
basically
why?
like
Like, what would be the motivation there?
just to basically just put a villain out in there. Like
But I think towards the end of Hawkeye, you were starting to see like she wasn't a villain.
yeah,
Right.
she was more like someone that you did this to me. Now I should do this to you. So we're even now, basically.
Yeah. I mean, in relation to that, more than anything, if you're trying to pull somebody from there, maybe it's Kingpin, which wouldn't be a horrible thought because we already see him as the big crime underlord, and like even when he was talked about in all of Hawkeye, he was called the big boss. So like maybe he's the boss man here, and he's trying to get her superpowers to continue to bulk up and take on. Who knows? I don't know. That could be.
Yeah, like
So-
didn't he die?
Well, they don't.
I
show
mean,
you.
come on. He ain't dead. And if
Yeah,
if that killed Kingpin, I quit.
Like they basically just butchered two of their best characters, like Iron Man and Captain America. Captain America just died of natural causes.
well,
Yeah, as we all do.
Yeah, like he literally is a grandpa. Yeah, he might throw his shield like a frisbee disc.
Yeah.
What's new in the day and age?
They should bring back Chris Evans as old Cap, and what's his name? Isaiah. Who's the
Eli?
and and then they could do like some old man frisbee golf with the shield or something. That'd be a great end credit scene. Or
Yeah,
just
that'd
maybe
be
them out there
Then,
golfing.
then you could have Madison with Y come in and serve drinks.
Look, bro, Kyle, she's the best thing about the show.
They literally make the poster. Like, what's next? She might get fan art. What's new in the
Oh
day?
yeah, already happening.
Like, I can imagine they putting like a whole section, Madison with a Y, but it's not where you think. Just a whole merch section at like Disney World and just on Disney.com. There's a whole section of merch.
Well,
Just
people
of
are already
Madison
campaigning
for
to
fun.
see Wong and Madison together in their own
And,
show.
yeah, they should give them like a spin-off.
They
But, like,
should, or at
maybe
least like
just
do one of
short,
those
maybe,
one
like, a
shots,
5-minute
where it's like the little shorts, something like that.
Yeah, like maybe, like I wouldn't like. I hope she isn't just was in that like one episode. Then she's just she's gone.
I know,
Like,
and she seems like the type of character that would just be in there for an episode. But like, I hope they realized how much of like a sneak hit she would be, that then they would bring her back because like we definitely want to see more of her.
Yeah, like the whole everybody in the fan base just getting rid of Disney Plus if they don't put her in at least one more episode.
Yeah. I say
So-
give her superpowers and she can take out She-Hulk. Boom, we got a new She-Hulk.
Yeah.
There it is.
So the third question is, how does Daredevil interject, and how does the series move forward? I mean, that's what we're all tuning in for, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
since
mean,
he's
the
a
obvious
lawyer,
in okay, go Kyle, you go first.
like he's a lawyer, maybe representing another.
But the episode, so this is where Dad is not going to take you to school, because I know you don't know Daredevil and She-Hulk that much. She-Hulk is based in LA, where Daredevil has been known as a New York City vigilante, like a hero, like
Basically
So-
Batman of the MCU.
so I wonder what's happening. Maybe Echo is out there, and maybe he, because Echo comes out before Daredevil.
Mm. Maybe it's as simple as he's got to come pick up his suit.
That
You know what I mean?
and we get a couple of flips, and that's it.
Well, I mean, if he's only in there for one episode, he probably won't even be in there like for the whole episode. Like they're gonna do something probably to build to him showing up. So
Yeah.
I think if it's like 5 minutes, bro, I'm gonna be disappointed.
I think a lot of the fan base will be disappointed.
Yeah.
And like we don't even see, what's happened with Abomination.
Right? Like that whole storyline just disappeared now.
Pretty
That's
much.
been
Yeah,
what?
basically like he
2
was in there
episodes?
for like what 1, 2, maybe like 3 episodes, and bye. Go to your island with your 20 soulmates. Just bye.
They keep multiplying, huh? More soulmates. I did really appreciate, as much as I liked the kind of the way the opening episode had with the Hulk and She-Hulk going back and forth. I did appreciate the episode where they were introducing Emil Blonsky and Abomination and that whole thing. I actually felt like, oh, I think I might like this show. And then I felt like after that, it really started nosediving for me. I could not stand the episode about all the dating. If it wasn't for Madison,
Oh yeah.
that whole episode would have been in the garbage for me. And then this last episode, if it weren't for the Daredevil helmet, like it would have been flashing as well.
One thing I did notice about the helmet design is there's like a game Marvel made a while ago called the Marvel Contest of Champions. Like,
Yeah,
it's
oh yeah.
It's a fun game. Like I play it.
That's
I used to play it a lot.
Yeah, and there's
Milan still plays it, I'm sure, right?
Daredevil variation, basically a V-skin called
Mhm.
Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, which
Ah.
the helmet design looks so similar.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going with a muted yellowish red
So
kind
now
of look for it.
Mustard Man. So now
Yeah. Mustard Man. Well, I mean, they did announce, and we'll get into this later on the pod after Kyle's bedtime. But they did announce essentially that it's a reboot for Daredevil. Yes. So I'm sure the new look is part of that, right?
And that kind of seems like an actual series where we're getting 18 episodes, which
of
Daredevil.
Yeah. Oh,
Daredevil. Thankfully not 18 of She-Hulk.
Yeah, imagine.
The only way 18 episodes of She-Hulk would work for me is if nothing else was coming out.
Well, and that's what I'm worried about with Daredevil, right? They're doing 18 episodes. Like, are you going to have a 6 to 7 month gap of no, movies?
Oh, like while all those, are they going to stack them where it's like
how
kind
they
of competing?
announced.
But I mean, if they do, so Daredevil's a show. If they do a show plus a movie, I think that works. But if you have multiple shows, then I think you're going off, because it's going to be hard to track. For a lot of people, it's going to be hard to track with multiple shows that are happening at the same time. But if you have a movie, maybe that works. Although I don't know if that really works, because they do it where the timelines are like, this is what happened, and then the next. Often they do that. Sometimes this is movies like a prequel, but
I mean, that's 3 months of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these shows now are typically 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, and it looks like, so my notes say that
7
comes out in the spring of 2024. That's a while away. Gosh.
Like, one thing that is a little confusing that I did look up. Like, as soon as the first episode dropped, I just looked up who is the villain in She-Hulk, and I was like, who in God's green earth is this? Is this just a random character that they dug up from a Marvel vault of comics?
Who was it?
Titanium.
What?
Oh,
Oh, Titania. So I
literally
think in the
looked
comic books, to
Wait,
hear
wait.
there's another podcast I listen to that I love. I don't know, Eric, if you listen to Phase Zero.
I've listened every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. They talked, one of the gals on there like is a huge She-Hulk fan prior to even this show, and she was like, I want to see more of Titania. So she's getting her wish here, but I mean, what's the big deal with Titania? She seems like Kim Kardashian.
Not even like a second-rate villain.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like
no.
he might be even worse than the robbers that robbed the Asgardian construction worker.
Yeah,
Like,
and like, what is her? I'm now remembering those guys.
Powers?
They were whack. What is her superpower? Like, is she supposed to be strong because she broke
I
through a
don't think
wall? Is that her
I don't
thing?
think they've told us yet.
Yeah.
I mean, but
maybe
she
in the
busted
comic-
through a wall in the beginning of the episode,
Like
or
in-
in her part, right?
Yeah, like maybe super strength, similar to like the Juggernaut.
Maybe
from
we're gonna
X-
find out that it's the secret ingredient to her potion.
It's Kool-Aid. That's why she break through the wall. Hey, Kool-Aid! Yeah, oh yeah.
He's right over.
Oh, that's right. That's way
no,
before
I
his
get it.
time.
Like busts into the wall like he's John Cena. Like literally, they literally said, like in the somewhat middle, somewhat end of the episode, they said, like I don't remember when they said it, like when they were gonna talk to Titania about changing the name of the products, not in court. They said they were looking at one of the products and it said snake oil, I believe, or something similar to that. And they were just like, this is snake oil. It isn't anything special. It's just snake oil. It isn't anything special.
Well, snake oil is a reference to back in the day, way back in the day, like in the kind of like Western days. Like you'd have people that were going around trying to sell medicine, because this is before there was like a Walgreens and a pharmacy.
Yeah.
There were people that were going around selling quote unquote medicine, and it wasn't actual medicine. It was like the oil of snakes. It was snake oil, and they were pretending that it was medicine. So that now when someone says it's snake oil, that's like a metaphor for saying it's fake. It's not real. Yeah.
Like literally, what's next? Are they gonna literally take Kool-Aid and water and mix it together and say, hey look, I got Titania's new secret ingredient to her perfume or something? Like, what's new?
As long as they add sugar, I'll take it.
All right, we've got a couple minutes left with Kyle as he has bedtime, as it's a school night.
Yeah.
But we're going to ask Kyle on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being bad, 5 being great. Where do you rank She-Hulk?
Honestly, I would say maybe 4.
4, huh?
Yeah, because like it does give a lot of character development. Like you started off with like just Jennifer Walters that was just a lawyer, and some of Bruce's blood got in her system, and now she's She-Hulk, and like there's a lot of character development. Like
That's
I
actually
like that.
true.
Like one thing that would be
They
nice
do.
is if they did some character development with like Donnie Blaze and Madison with a Y, not what you think it is.
Those are
And maybe if there's a big fan base that likes Titania, maybe give her 2 episodes of character development. Maybe.
I've had enough of her.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Eric?
I lost my train of thought.
Like she's literally a female Juggernaut from X-Men. Just get rid of the helmet and.
Except not good. Like she's not that powerful.
She's cheesy.
Yeah, and if She-Hulk can take her out that quick, she ain't close to Juggernaut.
Yeah, like maybe She-Hulk just threw a book at her head and just knocked out. Just put her in jail. I heard on how to do the book. She isn't good.
Calm down.
well, hey, Eric. Before we send him off and before we close the book on She-Hulk, he gave it 4 out of 5. What would you give it?
I mean, I think it's a 2 right now. I think the only reason why we got to a 2 was because of the cameos.
Yeah, I would actually give it a 2.5. And my half is because of not the cameos, but because of the elements that this movie is being used to kind of like, I think, prepare for. Just if we didn't have Daredevil's helmet in the last episode, I'd probably be at a 2. So I'm ready, and it could improve. It's got time, maybe. I mean, how many episodes is there?
5,
There's 9 episodes.
6 or 9.
9 episodes. Yeah.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, Dad.
We appreciate you staying up and giving up electronic time.
Honestly, I'll do that any day of the week.
Talk some comic book movies with us.
Yeah.
And you guys are missing his epic Mandalorian PJs. That's a super dope top, bro.
Yeah. The Mandalorian, I'm hoping season 3 is good because season 2 was literally a 1 3/4. It wasn't.
You didn't like season 2?
No,
I don't think he's my son.
No.
I mean, we're not talking about Book of Boba here.
1. I always like.
We're not talking Book of Boba.
I know we're talking.
Luke Skywalker coming in.
Right. Season 2 was pretty epic.
The 3 things that put the cherry on top of the cake for me: the Darksaber, and what is it? Baby Yoda, just in general. Luke. That's real. And the
Ahsoka.
Put the cherry on top of the cake. Those were.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime. Good night.
We'll see you in the
Thanks
morning.
so much, Kyle. It was great, bro. All right, you guys. Kyle, our special guest, has been put to bed, and now it's time for the grown men to talk. And so we figured we would start off kind of segment 2 of this conversation, just chatting about the Bears real quick. Now, I know in our last episode, we did a week by week kind of rundown on the games that we thought the Bears were going to win and lose. And I'm pretty sure we both pegged them for a loss in week 1.
We did both for a loss. Which
I mean,
we can
on paper, they were not supposed to win that game.
We can both agree, and I know you're a religious man, but the man upstairs had a lot to do with that game.
Yeah, I was telling Larissa, I was like, so it's bear weather, just to start with in general, and then it was a tough, game. We weren't looking great, and then as soon as we got the lead, the rain came hard, and it was like, good luck. So I turned to Larissa and I was like, and this is how you know God's a Bears fan.
Look, I think we both pegged them for a loss for this game. I mean, I was more excited. Don't get me wrong, I was excited for the victory. Anytime, your football team or your team in general gets a win, you're always going to be excited.
Right.
And you look to the next game to see how they can build. But I was just happy that after one game, it looks like we have a coach that has implemented getting in and out of a huddle and clock management and
discipline. Like that, I'll tell you.
We didn't take a lot of stupid penalties.
No, man. And like there's so many things that I'm so encouraged by. The main things, and I'm not even talking about just week 1, because all of it matters. You're looking at a team right now who actually hasn't lost in 4 times that they've been on the field. Granted, 3 of them were preseason, but they've finished strong in every game, and they've played smart football. What we're used to with the Bears is leading that game in penalties for sure. We're almost always shooting ourselves in the foot. And every game, from my memory, I didn't go back and do the stats, so somebody can fact check me on this. I feel like in just about every one of those games, the other team was getting more penalties than we were. And And like that right there is just super encouraging, and looked like a whole lot of just smart, intense football. And I know they talked about it a lot in the off season, and they were like people that were, just commentating on the Bears were talking, is it something that the team will buy into, or is it cheesy, this whole hits principle that Eberflus put in? But it's, the acronym of what is the H? Hustle, intensity, takeaways, and smart football. And like that's what we're seeing. Now, I want to see more takeaways, but like I'm seeing a team out there that's like, we're gonna keep going, and we're not gonna it looked like that the Bears literally just wore down the 49ers.
I think the 49ers weren't prepared for the weather, and it
No.
looked like they were uncomfortable.
Yeah, they were. And then you see on the other side, did you see the somebody sent me I think it was like a TikTok or Instagram reel or something, where it had Roquan Smith being mic'd up. He was mic'd up for the game, and he was like just loving it. There were so many clips of him just saying, man, it's like when I was a kid playing outside in the yard, playing football. And he's like, man, I was swimming across the ground that play. And like, he's just out there having fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that right there is a mentality that really just gets me jazzed up to watch them play. And it's not just a bunch of grown men trying to get a check, but like people out there having fun playing football.
I'm optimistic with Eberflus now, right?
Yay.
So
y'all heard it here first. Haffy is optimistic about something.
We've gone from Lovie Smith, who I think we can all agree was dismissed unjustifiably, right? Like you don't get fired after going 10-6. Yeah,
right.
You lost. You didn't make the playoffs that season, but. And then we got, what was it, Tressman, who was clueless. And then we went to Fox, who we thought like, I
was excited when we got him.
Yeah, so was I. Then we went to Nagy, and it was like, oh man, who's worse, Nagy or Tressman?
And I was excited when we got Nagy too, because I was like, all right, he's coming from the high-powered Kansas City. Stinker. Yeah.
And I think, when you make that comment about adults just cashing checks, as much as I love that trade, I think Khalil Mack was kind of in that category of
100%
I got
agree.
paid, I'm just going to show up. And if I take some plays off, I take some plays off.
100% agree. Because he looked, I mean, it's so obvious with him, the difference that motivation makes. Yeah. Because when he first came with us, like he was like flying all over the field. Like you had to reckon with Khalil Mack. And then very quickly after that, it was like he was gone. And we attribute it to like, now everybody's double teaming him and stuff. But we've said this before. They double team Aaron Donald. That doesn't stop him.
You can like triple team him and he's still going to get that.
And there's and you can go down the list of other, big name stars that like, you double team them all you want and you're not taking them off of the stat line. Like they're going to get theirs, I never heard that with, they double team Brian Urlacher or Ray Lewis. Like, okay, they're going to make you pay. They're going to make you know that they're on the field. I don't care how many bodies you put out there, and Khalil Mack just disappeared.
Yep.
And then I'll put in that same bucket, Allen Robinson. Now, last year, everybody wants to give him a pass because of the quarterback situation, but Darnell Mooney was in the same quarterback situation.
Allen Robinson, when we first got him, the first couple of years was a wide receiver that we had not had in a long time.
Oh, he was the man. I'm just talking about last year.
And then last year, it looked like it was an inconvenience for him to show up to some games.
Yeah. He's like, why am I here? Like you literally would forget that he was even on the team.
It's kind of redeeming when you watch the Rams play and he's got one target for 10 yards.
Yep.
So,
and bro, so I'm in fantasy football and we did a draft over kind of like Zoom. And I was telling people when they saw him sitting there, I was like, y'all know I'm a huge Bears fan. I'm not getting anywhere near drafting Allen Robertson. And I'm like, he's a quitter. And if you get him, like, trust me, you'll see it. And then week 1, like, he got a catch or something like that, or maybe not even, yeah. And I don't know if it'll be any different, but
so the only other thought I have on the Bears that I want to get your opinion is, and I'm fully on board for this. I will be down at Soldier Field with my little pennant, my Bears foam finger that can change from the index finger to the middle finger when they say "see you later" to the city of Chicago and they move to Arlington Heights. Are you on board?
So you don't want to have anything to do when they move?
No, I want them to get out of Chicago.
Oh, okay. How about this? So you're saying that to Chicago, like the city. Okay, I got you.
See ya.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm down because, like, here's where my dilemma comes. So I would be excited about it, except there's the same thing that I can't stand about our situation there for me, which is like, if you're going to a game or the weather's so bad and the snow and yada, 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 that same thing is what I will miss, like actually miss. And I think, like, if this was a different situation, if we were already in Arlington, last game would have been very different.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And I don't know if we come out on top still. I don't know.
But I guess I'm getting to the age of my life where I'm that old man that shoos everybody off my lawn. You just can't install your turf a week before your first game.
Yeah.
And that's
but it worked. It held up enough.
Yeah, it worked when they're out there squeegeeing the field and you see like
But that wasn't the field's fault. I mean, it was pouring, like literally.
It just goes back to my dislike for the city of Chicago and the Park District, how they operate, Soldier Field. So I am all on board for the move to Arlington Heights. I will watch live when the Bears announce that they're finally moving forward with plans. And I, not for 1 minute, believe that Lori Lightfoot thinks she can get another football team in there, because I don't see that happening at all.
Do you happen to know when her tenure's up?
It should have been up like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, I don't think she's got many fans, but I was just about to say then right after that, I'm like, but then again, I can't remember the last time people have actually liked the mayor of Chicago, whoever it is. So.
Well, I mean, I think for all of his faults, Daley wasn't. I mean, he was in the middle, right? Like,
I guess, yeah. I don't know,
but I don't think Soldier Field is good game experience for fans. I have zero desire to take Kyle to see a game there, just because getting in and out of the stadium takes you 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's not something that I would do with him. As unfortunate as it sounds, because I would love for him to see a football game there, that doesn't sound like a good time.
I mean, it's not. It's physically, it's challenging. I mean, you got to pick the real right time of year. And honestly, I would have said this would have been the right time of year, but like that would have been a rough game to be at, Although, I don't want to necessarily say their names, but colleague of ours who just recently left my team, her husband was at the game and actually talked about how it was like one of the best games he's ever been to, because I maybe there was just something about how it was just drenching everything, and not that you're like freezing cold, but like it probably gave them some of the same feel that like Roquan and some of the players had on the field of like, yeah, this is football. I don't know. I wasn't there. I enjoyed watching it from the comfort of my home. So.
Me too. Did you see that TikTok or that Instagram post of that 49er fan that was sitting eating his popcorn, and then all of a sudden the water just came down? It's like a
no, I have to see that. I have not seen it.
like a drain got clogged and then unclogged, and all he's doing is, I mean, like the water is just coming
Oh
down on
my
him.
gosh. So he's just
If I can
his
find it,
popcorn's
right,
done.
Chad? Oh my God, I felt bad for him. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I had not seen or heard that.
Just wanted to take this moment right now to let you know that the Good Dad, Bad Dad podcast is brought to you by the Freedom Story Podcast Network and Freedom Story Media, where we create compelling video, dynamic graphics, and amazingly effective websites to help you experience freedom and joy in your business and in life. Now let's get back to today's episode.
All right, and to our final segment on today's episode, we are going to do a rundown of the shows and movies and things that were announced at the D23 Expo that happened maybe about a week ago at the time of this recording.
Yeah, last weekend.
Yeah, okay. And there's a lot of really cool stuff and some things that I think I'm excited about, and we'll see what Eric's excited about, and maybe some of these are things that you guys are excited about. So, well, first of all, they didn't really announce much with it, but the next thing coming up is Andor on September 21st. They did release on Disney Plus, like it's like basically like a whole scene, like a significant chunk from there. I felt like. Did you get to watch that yet, Eric?
I've watched it. I've watched a few different trailers, and I have to say this might be one of the more exciting Star Wars shows that I can remember, just for the fact that it doesn't appear that you're going to get like a Darth Vader or a Luke Skywalker or a Han
Mm-hmm.
Solo, but you're going to see the presence of just the Empire and some secondary characters like Andor. You're going to get these stories about how these different planets and races and cultures are dealing with the Empire takeover. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, man, I completely agree. And it's like rather than relying on the character power of those big names, like they're actually focusing on hopefully telling a really great story. And I
Yeah.
think we're also really encouraged in this one because we know how dope Rogue One was, which this was the spinoff of Rogue One. I even heard from one of our coworkers, former coworkers. I forget you're with a different company now.
Yeah, we're going to split.
Yeah, yeah. But she was telling me that they have re-released to AMC theaters, I guess select
Yeah.
AMC's Rogue One, and man, I'm like, I was telling her, because she knows you. I was like, yeah, I should really give that one another shot at the theaters because Eric was giving me such a hard time that I fell asleep on that one, and I feel so bad because it was really good. It wasn't a testament to the
Well, it
movie.
was when you fell asleep, because I told you everything I've read, man. The last 15 minutes of the movie is what you gotta make it for. And I looked over, and Armand was cutting some logs.
I mean, I was tired, and the last 15 minutes are going to be the hardest for me to stay awake for. So it is what it is. I
Dude, all
did fall asleep on Rogue
the
One.
combination of popcorn and lemonade or pop in your case and some candy, that should keep you up for a couple of hours.
Nope. None of that has any real significant impact on me, just so you know. It doesn't do it for me. But I am excited about Andor, and it's awesome to know that we're what 6 days, 5 days,
Next week.
6 days away. Yeah, next week, next Wednesday, right?
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
So
hoping they go over in this episode or this series? I want to see how they came up with the decision to go from clones to stormtroopers.
hmm, hmm. Yeah, because that's never really addressed.
Nope. But you see in different episodes and even the animated shows that, you have clones at some periods of time and you have
Yeah.
stormtroopers. And then what was it, episode Force Awakens, Kylo Ren or Hux mentions the possibility of creating a clone army. So yeah, I'd like to see that.
That would be dope.
probably
would be
won't be
dope.
discussed, but yeah.
And honestly, I know I'm gonna enjoy all of that way more than She-Hulk. So I'm down.
I'm with
Let's
you.
go.
I'm
That's
with
gonna be
you.
a great, change of pace. Speaking of change of pace, the next thing, timeline wise, I have that they announced Werewolf by Night. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, I've watched
So
the trailer. That looks
yeah,
pretty.
and I've got like a little screen from it like that. That's interesting, and it's a really cool throwback to the old classic Twilight Zone type of classic horror films with like Swamp Thing or whatever those old ones were.
Well, Man Thing is supposed to be in this episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Okay,
I was
yeah. So this is
hoping-
a special, right? It's not even like
yeah.
a show.
Well,
Yeah,
it ties in. Like I think Werewolf by Night. I think he has tie-ins to Moon Knight and Blade, and
yeah.
I was
Blade would
hopeful.
make 100% sense.
I was
But then
hopeful.
also Moon Knight, because didn't they give us the QR code
Yep.
for the comic book of that? Yeah,
Yep.
in Moon Knight.
I was hopeful, but the actor that plays Blade, Marshall Ali, has said that he is not in it. But
Okay.
sorry,
That's fair enough.
spoiler.
But that's okay. I mean, it's gonna be kind of like a get ready for Halloween type of special. That's what, probably in 2-3 weeks. I think it says October 7th
11th.
that
Yeah.
it'll be released on Disney Plus. So that's interesting. And then we got, this should be good, Tales of the Jedi. At least if you are somebody who was into the Clone Wars. Now, admittedly, I was not a huge Clone Wars fan. Okay, I know that everybody's like shooting at me right now. The reason is I did not watch it like as it was released, because I think there's something to it that you watch it when it's coming out, because when it came out in a void of other Star Wars stuff. Like there wasn't a whole lot else that it was really competing with. And I then tried to like microwave it into my history, because I just like fast forwarded watching everything back to back to back to back to back. So as a result, I was hitting a lot of filler episodes. I was like, okay, why do we need this? Why do we need that?
So that's the time where like Kyle really started getting into Star Wars, when he saw that there was a cartoon. It started with Rebels, and then he, found out that there were Clone Wars. So we would get them, the Blu-rays, because the Blu-rays were $8 for 22 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, like that ate up a lot of time, and I was glad to sit and watch it with him, because I enjoyed the stories. Yeah, there was a lot of episodes that we didn't need to include, but we enjoyed it. Tales of the Jedi looks great. I think you're going to get some stories that we haven't heard before about. Looks like Dooku and Ahsoka, and
and like we've heard a lot of Ahsoka's like young backstory, her upbringing and stuff like that, but we haven't had that at all for Count Dooku. And like this seems like it's gonna be like before he went dark, so it's kind of like how the Clone Wars and the prequels were giving us that for Anakin, after we already knew him as Darth Vader. This is kind of doing that for Dooku after we've already known him as this, Lord of the Sith. So yeah, that should be interesting. And I love that they did it in like intentionally the same animation style as Clone Wars. So they're like,
I think it's done by Filoni.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, there you go. Of course it's done by Filoni. Like, duh. Like, why would you have anyone else do anything Star Wars related? If he's not a part of a Star Wars project, maybe you can question it,
Well,
although he's not like
he wasn't a part of the first 4 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and then the last 3 were phenomenal because he was involved.
No lies detected. So all right, and that is set to premiere October 26th. So, just over a month from now, that'll be out there. So that's going to be probably bumping up against Andor at some point, I gotta imagine. Right? Yeah, it would have to be.
Andor's going to be a long series, I think.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. And then let's see, November 11th, Wakanda Forever. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That's at least what my sheet here says. It's scheduled to release November 11th. You told me some rather worrisome maybe news. Why don't you share that with the folks?
What was the news?
You remember? You texted me a clip that was like,
Completely forgot.
it was like, oh yeah, just 2 months before the release, they're reshooting scenes.
So let me build it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked since they released a trailer. I'm sure we have, right?
I think we have. I don't think it was on the pod at all.
Yeah, we the trailer was phenomenal.
I love that trailer.
I think, Ryan Coogler, from what he had to deal with Chadwick Boseman's death, is gonna hit another home run with this movie. I mean,
it looks like it.
The cinematography looks phenomenal, and I think the story that we're gonna get is gonna be well done. But just last week, I read that they're reshooting, and that scares me that you're reshooting and you're 2 months away from your movie being released. And I am quite sure that Disney and Marvel have high expectations for this movie.
Yeah. And I wonder if it wasn't a situation where it was like, hey Feige, here's the cut, and he's like, cool, I think we should do this. Like do this. Like, all right. Because I can't think of too many other situations where that late you would go and reshoot some stuff,
So the only thing I can think of, and I'm going out on a limb,
all right,
is they're doing like an end credit or a mid credit, and it probably ties into a future project that might have been changed in some way.
That actually, so see, when you say that actually makes me feel a lot better. Because that feels like it was already awesome, and now this is just a way to bring it to the next level and make it do what the MCU does best, which is weave everything together, set you up for what's coming.
Yeah,
we'll just say that, because I don't know that we'll know. Maybe eventually it'll leak like what were the newest scenes that they shot. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Do you have any predictions about who is the new Black Panther?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Shuri. Yeah.
Like my first thought is that, but like I can't help but like see her as so small, and in that trailer, that Black Panther didn't look that small. Like when I saw her on stage at D23, I was reminded about how frail and petite she actually is.
It's all camera angles, man. Like, look,
I
ready?
guess.
Ready?
Wow, you just lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, no, I think with the way Marvel's going, introducing Riri Williams as Ironheart, Jane Foster as Mighty Thor, Cassie Lang, I think that's the route they're going. Is you're going to get these secondary characters getting top billing for some of these movies. I mean,
yeah,
in my opinion, it's the character, right? And yes, it's unfortunate that Boseman passed, but I think a nod to the character would be to let the character be recast, or you can multiverse another Black Panther into the 616, but
in the comic books, when Shuri takes over, do you know how that story went? Like as far as T'Challa? Because I wonder what happened there. I think that's a good question to see. Like, did they kill him off then, or was it just a handing of or passing down of the torch?
Well, in the comics, he's married to Storm.
Oh, okay, so that's a whole new world. Yeah.
Well, let's just be realistic, right? I think eventually, with Marvel and Disney acquiring the Fox rights, you would have the perfect opportunity to start introducing X-Men characters. And since he's married to one of the top characters, that would be,
And
your way.
maybe that's something you do when you do introduce them. Maybe you bring in a virgin from another multiverse, like you said, that's married to Storm. That could be interesting.
I know it's a touchy subject because everybody, doesn't want to see the character recasted, and there's a group of diehard fans that say it's the mantle of Black Panther. You had T'Chaka, you had T'Challa, so
Yeah, but to that point, it's a mantle, right? Which is not like necessarily a man.
Yeah.
So just like Captain America, it's not just Steve Rogers. Like there's multiple captains. So I don't know. I'm down for whatever they do. I think as time passes, the conversation shifts and changes, and I think you could, readdress the potential, recasting of T'Challa. But I think it was the right move if it's confirmed that they didn't, that they don't, because it looks like they're putting an end to T'Challa because like they're having a funeral, so to speak, or celebration
I
of life.
also read a rumor, and I'm putting up air quotes, that Ryan Coogler is having discussions about directing Avengers King Dynasty.
Really? That would be dope. That would be dope. Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, yeah, he killed it with Black Panther. Like, came in, did a movie. Now you can like write your own ticket. You know what I mean? Like, so that one was dope. Well, I'm excited about Wakanda Forever for sure, and I can't wait to see it. I'm sure I will see that at least twice at the movie theater. So unless it's like the most disappointing movie in a while, and that's one, I'll tell you this: it has the potential to be super disappointing. And the only reason I say that is because of how high my expectations are, how excited I am for it. You know what I mean? So like She-Hulk, as bad as it is, disappoints me in no regard because I expected nothing out of it.
I get what you're saying, from the African American community, having that character on the big screen means a lot. And we went and saw Black Panther together. And I never read the comics. I watched some cartoons, but I was excited just watching you get excited for what was happening on screen. So I'm stoked. It's the end of phase 4, and if Marvel can kind of turn things around after She-Hulk, that would be a great movie to do so.
Yep. Okay, so that being the end of phase 4, taking a bit of a break from the MCU, but another thing that was announced, we can make this quick. Disenchanted. Did you ever watch Enchanted, the first one? Look, your look on his face right now, you guys are missing it. So this is the Good Dad, Bad Dad podcast, right? So this was a movie that we watched as a family, and I actually enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. And so when I saw that the trailer came out, I showed it to them. They were all excited about the sequel, many years later. It's like 15 years after the first one. A twist on the original plot. Disenchanted was announced as coming exclusively to Disney Plus in November of this year. So you don't have to say anything on it, Eric, if you don't want, unless you want to just share your disgust.
The bad dad comes in, right? Because I will be the first to admit that we dragged Courtney to the Marvel movies, and she will sit through, and half the time it's guaranteed she's going to fall asleep, right?
Right.
But to her credit, right, when it comes on Disney Plus, she'll watch it a few times on her own.
Okay.
She is really into zombies on Disney Plus and some of the shows and movies. I just can't get into them. Like,
no,
she was so happy to watch Pinocchio, and
I still haven't seen that one either.
That was like a combination of like Forrest Gump and
Toy Story.
Almost. I mean, like, I couldn't, dude. I know, I just couldn't. So yes, the bad dad. will probably not be watching Disenchanted.
Disenchanted.
You'll have
He
to
is
tell me about it.
disenchanted in regards to Disenchanted. And the trailer what was interesting about it is it looks like, the main character's not makes this wish, and the wish is not turning out the way she wants, and actually her fairy tale becomes more of a nightmare, and she becomes kind of a wicked witch in this fairy tale. So, anyways,
That's everyday life, right?
yeah. I mean, hey, what do we say? Any day you could be the good dad or the bad dad. So she's the good witch or the bad witch. All right. Then up next, still not in the MCU, Willow, the reboot. Did you ever see the original Willow? You never saw that? Oh man, bro.
No.
So that was. I mean, if you watch it now, it's complete cringe fest. Like, like really bad, graphics, or it's not even CGI, like special effects or whatever you would call it back then. But it was before, you got a movie for the Lord of the Rings, before you got one for the Hobbit, before your Harry Potters. It was those.
Willow.
Now, granted, those books already existed. Well, Harry Potter's didn't, but the Tolkien's did. But this one was cool, with Val Kilmer, and I can't remember the main guy's name, but it was essentially like the poor man's Lord of the Rings meets Harry Potter. Like it was that, and it was cool with Mad Mardigan, who's Val Kilmer's character. Yada yada yada. I'm excited because of the fact that it taps my nostalgic bone in that regard, and I'm looking forward to that coming out November 30th on Disney Plus. So I clearly have a bit more to watch than you do, because you're like, I don't care about any of that. I can't wait to see your face when I mention Hocus Pocus 2. No, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say that one, which is also one that was announced.
So here's a funny story, right? So there's been advertisements for Hocus Pocus, right? Part 2. And Courtney has said, oh, I want to watch it. And Diana gets a text from some of her girlfriends that they were going to have a watch party for Hocus Pocus 2. The first thing I said to her was, please tell me I don't have to go.
So I actually enjoyed the first Hocus Pocus. So I have very diverse entertainment taste. Like I can watch and enjoy stuff on the very far end of cheese, like that's like so bad and like, wow, why? Like Hallmark TV, like legit. And then I will watch stuff that's like super, dark and real and like hardcore and all the stuff in the middle. So Hocus Pocus was one that I enjoyed to a degree, not like it's like, oh, my favorite. But I think a big thing for me now is, and they know this clearly, I like the nostalgia of the movies and stuff that haven't been around for a while, and they're now like that's what Top Gun 2 was for me. I love that. I watched that twice and I own it. Even though it was poorly written, the last Jurassic Park felt that way for me, bringing back the cast, But anyways, we won't get into Hocus Pocus 2. That wasn't even on my rundown list. I just thought of it when we were talking about it. Okay, so kind of going back towards our realm, we got Mandalorian 3, or season 3 of The Mandalorian.
You're skipping some things in December, man.
What's in December? What am I missing?
You're missing Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Oh yeah. You know what? I saw that somewhere and I didn't believe it because I'd never heard it.
Because you're paying too much attention to Disenchanted, Hocus Pocus.
So did they just announce the Christmas special at D23? So that's why I missed it, because it had probably been announced and I didn't pay attention to it then. All right, so tell everybody about the Christmas special.
There hasn't really been a whole lot released about it. I know some of it was filmed during Thor: Love and Thunder, and they're currently filming Guardians 3, which I think is May of next year. So this is going to be a 30 to a 45 minute Christmas presentation, kind of like Werewolf by Night.
Cool. Is there anything else coming at the end of the year? Or is that just the only one? Is that the only thing before?
Avatar 2.
Avatar 2 is coming then?
Come on, man.
I don't even know why I don't have Avatar down here.
You're going soft on me. You got Disenchanted.
I got Disenchanted and I don't have Avatar 2. That's a legit fail. That's a legit fail right there.
I thought November had some good movies coming out. Avatar 2.
And that's November?
Yeah. Shazam.
Well, I saw a panel, so I didn't write down their date when I saw the panel. I watched a panel where they were breaking out from McFarlane Toys, the toy line for Avatar 2, which looked pretty dope, where they have like bioluminescence on the toys, where like if you put a black light on them, it like shines and stuff like that. So that looked pretty dope. What else? Well, shoot, what else am I missing in
I think that's really it.
Is that it?
Yeah. I think
I was never a huge fan of the first Avatar. I saw it. I thought it was good, but it wasn't like a lot of people. I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I mean, there's definitely a huge fan base for Avatar, where they're like.
I mean, we like it. We've watched it. Kyle loves it.
Oh yeah.
Eats all of that stuff up.
We're gonna have him back on the show when Avatar 2 comes out.
No. He'll just go on, man. He'll go on. I thought Shazam was supposed to come out, but maybe that got pushed.
I definitely don't have anything from not Disney.
Yeah, I think that's it from Disney, Marvel, Star Wars.
Yeah, because I don't have any of the Shazams or Black Adam or I don't know what DC's doing anymore. I mean, I'm still looking forward to seeing Black Adam. Shazam, I feel like Shazam's gonna be bad. I feel like the new Shazam's gonna be bad. I don't know why. I feel like they just fluked with the first one.
Yeah,
but
Black Adam is
because I feel like when I look at the trailer of the what's that? What were you gonna say?
Black Adam is October, isn't it?
Yeah, that's coming out soon. I know it's soon. But like, I feel like when I look at the trailer of Shazam, it looks like a cheesy flop. But when I watched it, it was good. Like I enjoyed it. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't trust that they're going to be able to like rebottle that magic. And I feel like it's going to be the cheesy flop that the first one was supposed to be, in my opinion.
I will go and watch it, but DC has lost a lot of credit.
Yep.
When they said that they have not given, or it's off the table, the Batman 2.
Really? They said that?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not dead, but they just removed it from the table. I don't know if it's contract negotiations or.
But why? Did they say why?
No.
Why would you even announce that?
Robert Pattinson. Well, because I think it slipped,
it came out, okay. Yeah, because I'm like that. You don't want to tell people that.
Black Adam looks good, but I don't have high expectations.
Same. Like that one looks better than Shazam 2 does. And I think I'm kind of like excited to see like I almost called him the Marathon Man. Mr. Manhattan. And after seeing him in my brain is just shutting down on me tonight. What was the other movie that he was a big character in, or was a show? One of the two. Oh my gosh, that's gonna bother me. And it was a show that I enjoyed, and it was weird, but whatever. Okay, so I'm excited about seeing him. I want to see whoever that eagle-looking dude is.
That's Hawkman.
Hawkman. Okay, I was about to say Hawkman. I think
They're saying that Viola Davis's character from Suicide Squad is in it.
I think I saw her in. Maybe they have the newest trailer. I think I saw her in that.
It sounds like it's just a gluttony of cameos again.
Yeah. Hopefully they wrote a story since what's his name? I almost called him Vin Diesel. Wow. The Rock. Since The Rock has been nursing this one for so long. Hopefully they got a story out of it. Okay, so are we okay to go to Mandalorian 3 now?
We can go to Mandalorian 3.
Sorry about that. So I'm pumped about that, despite what the young Kyle says. I
hope this is going to feel more like Mandalorian 2 than Book of Boba. If it feels like Book of Boba, like a sequel of that, then I don't know, we'll have problems. But I feel like the best thing about the Book of Boba were the Mandalorian episodes. So
I think the trailers look phenomenal, right?
yep.
It looks like he's going back to Mandalore, which you get from the trailer that it's devastated by war, which we've kind of known. But I think when he shows up wielding the saber, that's going to change a lot of people's thoughts. And I think Bo-Katan is going to be his adversary in this one.
Ah, like trying to get the dark saber.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah,
I'm open for whatever they got going on there, man. Like that franchise, they've shown me that I can trust them. So,
and they're already filming season 4.
Let's go. Yeah. Okay. I'm down. And I hope everybody else is too. Looks like February 3rd, 2023. So that should be a great way to really get into the next year, which has a ton of stuff. So then, correct me if I'm wrong, the next project is the beginning of phase 5 of the MCU.
You're missing one of your favorite animated shows.
Is it actually one of my favorite? Is it the X-Men 90s? No. What is it?
It's Bad Batch season 2.
Oh, I literally missed that on purpose. I intentionally didn't put it on here. Okay, when does Bad Batch season 2 come out for everybody? Do you know?
February.
Somewhere in February. Okay. Well, they were smart to tuck it in there behind Mandalorian. Look, the show was not great.
It's around for a reason, and I think this will probably be the last season of it. But I think you're going to get a huge curveball or something is going to lead to where they're going with it.
I mean, and I'll watch it, but I won't be happy about
it. I'll be catching you at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to be a 6 a.m. watch for me. Well, I mean, if it's out, because it's going to be out at the same time Mandalorian is, right?
I think so. Yeah, February.
Maybe if they have different drop days, then I'll watch it in the morning. But if they wouldn't drop them on the same day, that would be dumb, right?
Well, if they want to corner the market.
But I mean, you can corner the market still like back-to-back days, I don't know. Anyways. Okay. One of the ones that I'm super excited about in phase 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, February 17th, according to what I got here. Dude, everything that I keep seeing and hearing around Jonathan Majors and Kang, that looks like that is going to be a killer movie, like and probably a reverse tone of what Ant-Man has been, right? Where he's been fun in games. Now this looks like it's going to be like Endgame all over again. So what do you think?
Sorry, I'm just reading
okay.
different releases, and we can go back to this release. I've read, I'm not going to call them spoilers, but some talking points that have been released that this isn't going to be your comedy that we've been used to. It's
right.
It's going to be on a more real level for Scott Lang, as I think Kang kidnaps his daughter to get what he needs through the quantum realm.
You're saying too much. I didn't know that. I don't want to know that. Okay, well, I did hear already that they recasted Cassie Lang, right?
If you want to cut it, you can cut it.
No, it's fine. I don't care as much about cutting it from the podcast as me never hearing it.
Well, take it with a grain of salt, right? I mean, that's still 8 months away almost.
There we go. Who knows if that's going to be accurate or not.
But what
was the other release that you were going to mention?
Kraven the Hunter comes out January 13th.
Oh wow. That's not animated, is it?
No, that's a live action through Sony.
We've seen Craven somewhere.
No.
Didn't we?
No. He has yet to be on the big screen.
When did they start talking about him coming out?
Last year. It's what's the actor's name? Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Quicksilver in Ultron.
So they're reassigning him? Oh wait, is Craven? That's not DC, is it?
No, that's Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain. So he's part of the Sony.
That's where when we were talking about Sinister Six, I knew I was like hearing him as part of a crew before.
Yeah.
Okay, so when like the whole Venom end credits and stuff were coming out, I think that's when the conversation started, as far as my ears, to hearing him being a part of it. So the dude has 2 roles in the MCU then.
Well, they haven't confirmed that the Sony
that's
Spider-Man
even MCU.
is not MCU, because
That's
they
right.
remember at the end of Morbius, they moved Adrian Toomes, the Vulture's character, over to the Sony's MCU.
That's just all painful for me right now.
Yeah, but that movie's doing phenomenal on like.
You know what? I don't understand people. Like Larissa finally saw it, and maybe that's what it is. That people, when you say it's doing phenomenal, you mean like views, or do you mean like ratings?
Views, ratings, purchases.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't, man. Like that for me was like bad. Like I think it's the action version of like She-Hulk for me. Like, honestly, no, I think I prefer She-Hulk to that, just for the sake of the cameos.
They could have done
She-Hulk.
a lot with that character.
Sure.
And I think, as Sony has proven in the past, they have dropped the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I swear Sony should just give it up. And
wish
Disney should just write them a massive check.
Yeah.
And just say, walk away, because come on.
Cash
the
the
fans
check.
deserve this.
Cash the check.
Yeah. So what if season 2? Are you excited about that one coming 2023? For me, I mean,
no, not really.
Do you think it's going to be follow-ups of the episodes that they already did, or other new what ifs?
I think this is, a conversation that we have had over and over and over again. And, when Loki explored the opening of the multiverse, right? Like we immediately got What If right after. And I thought that like What If was going to show us like all the different conflicts and different timelines. And we really haven't gotten all of that, right?
Right.
I think it's just going to be a continuation. Like, I don't think it's going to play directly into what is happening in the current timeline.
I think I would be way less excited for it to. I mean, I'm okay with it, with them continuing to do like these one-off things, because I thought they were interesting. I don't want to see like them further develop any of the what if episodes that they did already, really, because I feel like what works for me about them is that they're just these little bite-sized nuggets of like fun thoughts, Yeah. If they try to turn it into a whole thing, then I feel like it's just going to be, I don't know, maybe even confusing.
I mean, I guess like, one of the things that I've complained about season 4 is you've introduced the Eternals, you've introduced Shang-Chi, and they really haven't done anything with those movies, right?
I forgot about Shang-Chi. Like, and his movie was so dope. Like, where's he at? Like, give him a cameo or something.
They haven't. How do you not notice a big celestial sticking out of the Indian Ocean? And
they did mention that. They mentioned that. Not mentioned, but I heard. I got to go back and look. Yeah, that there was an Easter egg or something in
Yeah.
She-Hulk where it was like on a news or something. Yeah.
But like you get those two movies, and then you get Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and it's like, all right, where are we going? Because if you're calling this the multiverse saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
She and Eternals don't really fit in.
Yeah.
You
Man,
know,
I hope.
unless
I mean, I'm okay with them taking their sweet time with the Eternals playing back in because whatever. But don't leave Shang-Chi out to dry. Like
yeah,
that one was dope. And he's a great new young, actor for this MCU. So I'd love to see him rather quickly find his way back into something like a show
I
or
just,
something.
I keep thinking like, you know, science, right? And magic. And that's been two key words for this phase, right? So Shang-Chi
Mhm.
is kind of your magic, and the Eternals are, I would say, in between, right?
Yeah,
Science
yeah.
and magic.
They're sitting above it all, kind of. Yeah,
But Doctor Strange was clearly magic, and
yeah,
She-Hulk is science because of her
yeah,
DNA with Bruce Banner. And
yeah.
so
He's definitely
maybe
science.
maybe you should just say, Eric, just be patient and enjoy the ride.
Eric, just be patient and enjoy the ride.
All right, I got my seatbelt.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th. I think we talked about this a bit on the last episode. I don't want to see anybody that I care about and love in that group die. They probably will. So,
I think we're
I
going to
don't know
get a
how
few
much I want to
deaths.
talk about that now. Yeah. So, we'll see.
But
They didn't really say
watching-
much about that at D23, though, did they? They didn't really bring it up, did they?
I don't think they released any
I don't think
footage.
so. I don't think
But
so.
they have announced that Adam Warlock will be appearing in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. They've even casted him too.
Oh, wait, I think I did see that. I feel like I did see that actually. It was like I feel like I'm envisioning like
Adam
a
Poulter
goldish looking
or
character.
Will Poulter.
I'll have to look up his picture.
But they also announced the villain of Guardians.
Who that?
I want to say, is it the High Evolutionary?
That sounds completely fake.
I think that's who the villain is.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I totally did see this announcement. I just looked it up right now. Yep. And that's actually a good casting. So we'll see.
Yeah, hold on. I got the list of actors. So
is
Aisha,
it this what's that?
Aisha from Guardians 2. She was the high priestess of the Sovereign.
Okay.
Will Poulter is Adam Warlock, and I'm gonna butcher this name, but
Is it Eric Bauza?
Chukwudi Yui as the High Evolutionary.
Chakudi Woody.
I'm doing his name wrong.
I know. I'm not seeing it, so I don't know. But
I will text it to you right now.
It's all good, man.
It's the
And these are all characters that are going to be introduced in
Guardians 3.
In Guardians 3.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
yeah,
I
man,
think
that should be good.
I think we're gonna see a few deaths.
Yeah.
I
would agree.
It's gonna be sad.
Oh well. What were you
Hopefully, I
gonna
don't have to bring Kleenex. Well, Diana was bawling when Robert Downey Jr. died.
Yeah.
As Iron Man, he had.
And
tears.
unlike when half of the team, vaporized, you got the sense that this is actually a real death with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
He ain't coming back. but the
Right.
multiverse
Yeah, he's
keeps
actually
the door
done.
open.
True. You never know. You never know. Speaking of you never know, early 2023 Secret Invasion. You never know who's going to be a scroll and who is going to be real. What are you thinking about that one?
I have the same vibe as I do about Andor, right?
With that one?
You're not
That
going
one's
to get,
definitely more story driven.
yes, that
Yeah.
looks like it's going to be like a true, like that's what Shield should be, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still hopeful that we'll get like a random agent of Shield from the show kind of appearance, like a whatever that girl was that played Quake, Chloe
Chloe Bennett.
Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be dope, or anybody else,
I
honestly.
think we're gonna find. I think we're gonna find a few characters, and I think Rhodey could be one of them because they
That
said
he's
that
not real.
that series leads right into Armor Wars,
Armor
which
Wars,
is
yeah.
Rhodey's spinoff. And
Which
what
they
better-
finally announced. Like they've been kind of talking about it for a while, and they finally announced that at D23.
But his
I
did you
want to.
see that his contract is up now?
I saw that. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me more. You can't just say that. Like, I need to know what that means. Like, are we about to lose him too? No, come on. It's supposed to be his time to shine. We just lost Iron Man. Come on. But maybe it's because Ironheart is coming. We'll get to that one. But then we get Echo. I'm excited about that. Less about her. Not that I'm anti her. I do love that she's like legitimately you know, mute where she's, needs to sign and all that stuff. I think that's actually really dope because it's like versus it being somebody who's having to really just act all that, you know. But I'm mostly excited about Kingpin and Daredevil. So just that's another vehicle for them to begin to shine. That'll whet our appetite for their big showdowns in 2024. So, but we'll get to that as well. What are you thinking about Echo? Anything else?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't have high expectations like you. I am more interested in seeing Kingpin and Daredevil. So
yeah, and whoever else they decide they want to throw in there. So that should be good. Loki season 2 around the same time, probably I'm guessing maybe after, but Loki season 1, was one of the fan favorites of the Disney Plus shows. They definitely set the stage on what the multiverse was and introduced like the huge villain from that. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna do in season 2. I don't know if I guess we're gonna see a bit more of Kang, I would imagine, or building up the world around him or something, since they ended it on that statue and Loki basically being the only one who remembers the old world. And now he's into this new world.
Looks like he got moved to a different timeline where they didn't recognize him, and I think he's going to have to do some figuring out. But I mean, kind of like Thor said in that play of Love and Thunder, how many different times have they showed Loki dying and coming back? And I think this guy's going to be fine.
Right.
It's not going to be his first trip around the world. And I really enjoyed season 1. I think season 2 will be just as popular. I wish they would put him back up on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because he's dead. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe
you're lucky to be alive, Loki.
Maybe this is how they want to move forward with his character. Just these, small Disney Plus shows. But
right. No, but he's definitely a big favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even though I had to force Larissa to watch it, she was just not vibing with it, and I said, "No, you have to see this because of how it ties into everything else. You can't not see this, So, okay, now we're gonna take a quick break from the MCU for a second. Around summer 2023 as well, Indiana Jones 5 is coming. So look,
I'm trying to ignore Indiana Jones 4 because that
I
was
never
a
saw it.
franchise killer. You never saw that one or any of them?
Indiana Jones 4.
Okay.
I
Which you are fine
love
for not have seen it.
Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3. Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They were killer. They were awesome, you know.
But
Indiana Jones
between
4.
that and Star Wars, like that was my childhood, right?
Yeah.
Like how could Han Solo be Indiana Jones? You know, that was
He was the man. Like between those two, like that wraps up childhoods for a lot of people.
I kind of feel like I need to watch Indiana Jones 4,
Maybe.
but I'm just not jazzed for it, you know? Like
So it was decent. It was decent. It wasn't anywhere near the other three. It was decent. And then the end of the movie happened. And they lost me. And I was like, what? This is stupid. This is what I'm watching. This is where we've been going. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to spoil anything.
that one had Shia LaBeouf in it, right?
Yeah, and I am a big Shia LaBeouf fan, actually.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool of like him kind of like basically trying to take the torch from Indy. You know, it's kind of like a passing of the torch type of thing. I even watched the Young Indiana Jones series that came out back in the day with what's his name? River Phoenix, I think it was. Like I watched because I was all into the whole thing, you know, with all the indie stuff. But I was really disappointed with Indiana Jones 4. And I am hopeful about Indiana Jones 5. Harrison Ford made it sound like from the stage of D23, he made it sound like the only reason he came back was because it was a good story. And he was like saying, this is going to be a good one. And then he started to say that this might be the last time. And he's like, no. This is definitely the last one that we're doing.
Dude, he's like almost pushing 80, isn't he?
He looked old. He definitely looked old on the stage. So I wonder what they're going to do. I don't know if it's going to be like how in Indy 3, you know, Sean Connery was like old man to the younger Indiana Jones. Maybe he's going to be playing old man to... And that's kind of what the Indiana Jones 4 kind of was almost.
We watched some of the D23 on Disney Plus. Like they had like snippets of it. And when they were announcing Indiana Jones 5, Diana was like, who is that on stage? I'm like, that's Harrison Ford. And she's like, no. And I'm like,
that's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's him. That's him. Okay, and then just to say it, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. As a kid, this was a piece of my history. Little Mermaid. Yep, Little Mermaid, May 23rd, 2023, with Haley Bailey as the new Little Mermaid. They dropped the trailer at D23. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not expecting it to be great, honestly. I just want to see their live action rendition. If it's anything like Lion King's, you know, live action boot, it probably won't be great. But I think because there's at least human characters that there's a chance that it'll be. And when I say human, I mean like people based, even though mermaids aren't quote unquote human. So
zero desire.
That is totally fine.
This is the problem that I'm starting to have with Disney is the creativity for these movies is like gone.
Oh yeah.
Why can't you just come up with new stories to tell? You know, why are you making a Mufasa movie? And, you know, why are you coming out with Inside Out 2? Although I will say I'm kind of intrigued by that, but like these live action, like Pinocchio was friggin' awful. Awful.
Yeah, I would say in general, I 100% agree with you that I don't want to see live actions of all of these classic cartoons. I'm just going to be honest. The only reason why Little Mermaid is piquing any interest is growing up, I actually had a major crush on Ariel. So I talked about with some of those other ones, it's like bringing me back to that nostalgia. You know, I don't know.
I am sure.
Let me say this: I still hunt for seashells every time I go to the beach.
I am sure we will take Courtney to go see it. I am sure we will. You know, sit and watch it. But yeah,
And I mean, I probably won't be going to the movie theater to see it. Let's just
Yeah.
be honest. I'll wait for it to come out, but I still
we
wanna see
might
it.
we might do the same thing too.
Yeah. But I mean, you got Courtney. She might actually like beg you
She's
to
gonna
take.
want to go. She's gonna want to go see it.
Yeah. And then Elemental, which is supposedly them trying to make original stories, but it looks a lot like not an original story, right? From the animation. Elemental June 16th looks a lot
Yeah.
like they're stealing from some Soul, they're stealing from some Inside Out, and maybe trying to build a new story
Frozen
dealing
2.
with fire and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll
No,
jump
we'll
right.
probably see it. I mean, the kids will want to see it because it's Pixar, but yeah, not excited.
Yeah, and I might end up taking Mateo to see that one if I can find a situation like we did with Rise of Gru, the Minion movie. I ended up starting like being able to jet out of work early and take him like 3:50 in the afternoon or something on a random day, and nobody else was in the theater, and that kid got to run around and do whatever he wanted in there. It was perfect. So we'll see if we can capture lightning again. But then we got The Marvels, July 28th, 2023. I'm looking forward to that one for one reason. I mean, not that I didn't enjoy Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. She's cool. I am excited to see Monica Rambeau finally like in her full-on superhero stuff, like after the taste we got in WandaVision. I was disappointed that she didn't go more full-on Rambo in the finale of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and maybe the dynamic of those, because I really enjoy the character of Miss Marvel. So I want to see how she interacts with that. But what about you? What are you thinking?
I read a rumor, and if it's true, I want nothing to do with it.
Oh gosh, here we go, Haffy. Are you going to share the rumor or no? Maybe you shouldn't share the rumor. I don't know.
have read that some of the characters switch bodies.
What do you mean? Like
at the end of Ms. Marvel, like we saw Captain Marvel, but that was really Ms. Marvel in Captain Marvel's body.
Oh, okay.
Folks, if you could see the expression that Armand just had, I hope it's not true, because
I mean, that's just like stupid gimmicky stuff. Like
I've texted you the demise of Marvel has been
and I keep coming back with positivity and hope. And I want to stay there. So you know what, Haffy? I'm not going to let you take me down. I heard what you said. It's not going to penetrate me because I have an iron heart. Do you want to transition?
I just wish I could get that like as a video whenever you call or text, just when you're like, oh.
That look, that could be a gif. Like,
I hope it's not true, but if it happens, I can see that could probably be a worst 5 Marvel movie.
It could be. I don't know. We'll see. I have hope for. Actually, I think the character of Miss Marvel, if she's like she was in her show, brought into the world with all the real superheroes and trying to team up, like I feel like that'll make this movie like real. Or is it a show? I don't even know. That'll make it a bit more. It's a movie. I feel like that'll make it a bit more endearing, where it's like, because I think one of the things that's cool about her is that she's really relatable, and she's just like, oh, like an average girl who suddenly got powers, and like what would they be like when they're with like other superheroes and people that they've idolized, so like that could be cool, where she's like, man, are we homies now, or like like that would be cool, like that vibe. So I don't know. Well, speaking of, seeing the younger generation vibe with the older generation, we got Ironheart set to debut on Disney Plus in the fall of 2023. That's with Riri Williams, who's kind of giving us a younger and a different spin on a Iron Man type kind of origin story there. What they introduced or announced on the stage at D23 was Anthony Ramos as the Hood, as the villain from there. And I looked his character up because I didn't even really remember him, but got a huge, involvement in the comic book world and ran a whole crime syndicate. And he tried to talk about him on stage as kind of like a misunderstood, villain, good dad, bad dad type, But
they're all misunderstood now. Right?
I was going to say, I think that's what they are saying about all the villains now. It's like, yeah, but you just don't get it.
I have so expectations for this.
Okay. Are you worried? I don't know.
Like the character's she's only come out in the last 5 years, right? And you had so much backstory of Iron Man, and same with all the major, characters.
Yeah, you've had years of stuff to play with
and
for them.
Yeah. It just kind of seemed, and we've had this discussion countless times about, me wanting more Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and now all of a sudden, we've got a character that has only been around for 5 years, so the history just isn't there.
There's not the history. There's a smaller fan base. It feels like a bit of a shot in the dark, but at the same time, I think this is the dilemma of this phase and beyond, where it's a lot like, and we talk about the Bears and stuff, when you're trying to reboot, and you've got, or not reboot, but rebuild, and you want some vets, but you need like the new ones that are going to carry you into the future and beyond.
The other problem that I have, and I don't know how you feel about it, but when you take characters like Spider-Man and Ms. Marvel and now Riri Williams, those are teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been teenagers. Peter Parker's been like a senior in high school for like 60, 70, years.
Yeah.
These characters in real life, the actors,
they're going to age.
They age, right? Yeah. And that's like one of the main problems that you will always have with Spider-Man.
Right. Because you can't follow Spider-Man for years necessarily. Although they're doing it when you're bringing in your Toby and your Andrew, because clearly you got like, youth pastor Spider-Man with Toby.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Holland's pushing middle to late 20s already,
Yeah.
And he does look young for his age. I'll give him that. But,
But I mean, so what's the solution other than knowing that you're just going to constantly reboot the character?
That's what you're going to end up doing. And I think these two actresses that are going to play, Ms. Marvel and Riri Williams, they're going to be fairly close behind,
And but unlike with a Spider-Man, if Miss Marvel's here for 5-6 years and then gone, if Ironheart's here for 5-6 years and then gone, I mean, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's the end of the world. And I don't think all these characters are necessarily ones that you're imagining you're going to have forever, because there's a lot of new characters that they're introducing. Yeah. So, and maybe these younger ones are just ones that are going to be, in their prime for a handful of years. And then maybe they'll come back a la Tobey Maguire a handful of years later and do like a nod. I don't know. But I also don't have the job to know. So
we need to work on it. We need to get entrenched into Kevin Feige's team.
Yeah. And this epic 2-hour podcast is where it begins.
I get canned like 5 minutes into working with Kevin Feige.
Oh man. Okay. Let's see if we can speed things up as we kind of turn the corner here. So after Ironheart, we got Blade, Mahershala Ali. I know we've talked about that on the last episode of the podcast. I don't think there was anything new that they brought to the table at D23. So I don't know if there's anything.
I think when you introduce Blade, you're introducing another, like the supernatural, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not the only supernatural. I mean you've already got like the Eternals, which I would kind of put in that realm. Um, who else? I feel like there's somebody else. Maybe not. Maybe everybody else. Well, I mean, in a way, you're Thor, you're Loki,
Those are
you're Herc
cosmic.
Cosmic. Is that what you're calling
Yeah.
that?
They're all
Okay.
they're all cosmic.
So what's the difference between cosmic and supernatural?
Supernatural is like your vampires and your werewolves, and cosmic is, space pirates.
Okay. So the reason I was thinking when you say here's where it gets interesting. So when you say supernatural, like I am a believer in God, so I'm thinking of like that type of supernatural. So then I went to the gods that we have, in the MCU.
No, but I think
So
I
I
think
hear
you
what you're
were
saying
right
though.
when you said the Eternals, because he was at the end with Dane Whitman at the end of Eternal. So I think, they're going to play, I'm excited for
Kind of work
Blade.
together.
I liked the Wesley Snipes version.
Yeah.
It's been about almost a year since they announced it. So I kind of want
Yeah.
to
And
keep
all
going.
we've had since then is his voice in Eternals, right?
That's been it.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if we get something somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know, but I am excited about that one. That'll be a nice change of pace, even, and I think that'll potentially bleed into Daredevil because I feel like there's like a dark justice kind of thing that's going on there. So we got Daredevil that comes out in the spring of 2024. I'm super excited about that. I'll say this. I got less excited when I heard that it was a reboot.
Yeah.
Because I almost feel like I was gypped on all the investment I put in the Netflix series.
Now I don't have to watch it.
Right, exactly. Now you don't have to worry about that, And also I just know how dope the Netflix series was, and I would love for that to have been now considered like canon in the MCU. But you know what? This could still be great. I think it's gonna have a challenge though, if I'm gonna be honest, because of how good the Netflix series was. Like it's gonna immediately be compared to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's gonna stack up. So they're gonna have to be really great because they're gonna go in a different direction because it won't be as dark and gruesome as the Netflix series was. So, but I'm still looking forward to it. And I don't know why it took me so long to realize it's a reboot. It's literally called Born Again.
Yeah.
Like it can't get any more obvious than that it's a reboot. That's funny. Okay, but that's gonna be a long one too. 18 episodes, right? I mean, is that two 9-episode seasons? You think, or one long?
No, that's one season.
One long 18-episode season. Wow,
yeah.
That'll be dope. And then we got, well, who knows in what order this one's going to show up, but Agatha Coven of Chaos, if I'm being honest. That's a step above my She-Hulk excitement. Like,
it's just time filler.
Yeah, it really feels like, oh, yeah, that's just something that, I don't know, maybe there's 12 people somewhere in a room that were really excited about that one. And
I think she just tested well when they came out with Wanda Vision.
Well, if that's the case, in 2025, I'm announcing it right now. Madison, she's not what you think. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, they announced Snow White. I won't spend too much time on it. I personally am not super excited about it, but with Gal Gadot in it, maybe it'll be interesting. That's in March 2024. Then we got Captain America New World Order in 2024. They gave us on D23, they gave us that, what's his name? Oh my gosh,
they
I'm
announced
blanking.
the villain is going to be the leader.
Yes, thank you. That they had been, oh my gosh, years ago
For the Incredible Hulk.
In Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
That at the tail end of it, right? It was like
Same
the leader's
actor.
coming, and
Yeah.
now he's actually coming.
Well, and they've confirmed that
is Isaiah Bradley?
Isaiah Bradley's coming back, and the military guy that helped.
Oh yeah, Danny Ramirez,
I think.
Danny Ramirez.
So he's going to take up the Falcon mantle.
I was just about to say, so he's about to step into the Falcon, right? And then Falcon's Captain America.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. So I'm actually looking forward to that a bit more than I was even before, because I didn't really know what to expect at all from that show. So that'll be interesting. We already talked about Inside Out 2 coming in June 14, 2024. So that is probably just going to be, maybe another person's inside story or what. I don't know what they're going to do there.
Still with Riley.
Oh, is it still her?
It's teenage years, and apparently more emotions are going to be introduced. So I think you're going to have like a team up of different emotions.
Or they're going to have a battle in there. The war of, I mean, you're talking to a teenager. That's probably what's going to be happening, right?
I'm all for
okay,
that.
Okay, I can dig it.
If Lewis Black is leading the charge, I'm on board.
And Inside Out, that was one of those Pixar movies that I was actually really impressed with, because they were telling a real story there.
Yeah.
Like that was a creative thing. It
was a movie that was more popular after its theater run.
Right. Well, probably because I think, word of mouth started to travel that like, oh, this is not just a movie for the kids. And really, it didn't feel like a kid's movie. It's like, man, is this therapy? And you might need therapy after watching Marvel's Zombies that comes out, it looks like June 21st of 2024. And I think you already mentioned it, which is likely a spinoff of the What If, or I don't even know if you necessarily call it a spinoff, but it's the same concept because they're both coming from the comics that were on the Marvel Zombies characters. And I wonder if they just realized how popular that episode was. And they're like, hey, we should do this. Like, really do
Probably
this.
The same people that greenlit Agatha Harkness.
Maybe. Although I would actually enjoy Marvel Zombies more. Like, and I'm not even big into the animated stuff. I was as a kid, but I would watch that way more than Agatha Covenant of Chaos, honestly, because I thought that was really interesting in the What If series. That was my favorite.
That wasn't a bad episode. I like that one.
And we already talked about Mufasa. Say it again. Mufasa coming out in July 2024. The only thing that makes this live action, I think, redeemable for me is that it's, in a sense, it is actually a new story where they're giving you a bit of a prequel. So at least they're not just saying the same line. Like, I never even finished the first reboot or the live action of Lion King. I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I saw this movie already. Next.
It's all right.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything.
All right. Well, the thing I'm actually the most excited about that's coming in the next at the end of that next phase is Thunderbolts. Now they released and they announced the cast. I felt like that was like the biggest reveal of D23 when they showed us the cast.
It was the biggest the biggest piece of information, but then Kevin Feige released another piece of information.
Ooh.
That I don't think you and I have discussed.
No. Should we go through the cast first, or is it?
Well, let me release what I think, or the little Kevin Feige nugget, and then we can talk about it because it's going to have ramifications.
Okay.
So Kevin Feige came out and said that it's confirmed in the current MCU there is no Avengers.
I did hear that. I saw an image that said disassembled,
Yeah.
like that they're done. So
So,
then, are you saying then like the implications are is like this is the closest thing to the next Avengers that you're gonna see?
well, I think, we've always talked about Elaine, who is Val,
Contessa.
right? I
Yeah.
think she kind of is gonna take the ball into her own hand and develop her own team.
Yeah. She's like the
And
Twisted Fury.
I am pretty jazzed for that team. I think some characters are going to get some more screen time, which I'm all for. David Harbour as Red Guardian. I want more of that.
He was great. He was great. I mean, and Yelena too. So here I'm gonna throw him up on the screen so we can talk about him. So we've got Contessa. When this first came out, I thought that was Echo because I wasn't
Oh, that's
I wasn't
Ghost.
reading it. I was just looking at the image.
Yeah, Ghost.
But we got Contessa. Then we got Ghost from Ant-Man and Wasp. David Harbour, also known as oh my gosh,
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Thank you. I guess it's never known as David Harbour in the movie either, but because that's true. So we got Red Guardian, then we got Yelena, who is amazing. Loved her in Black Widow, loved her in Hawkeye. Then we got Winter Soldier, and I love when they had him on stage. They were like, "Yeah, it says something about this team when Winter Soldier's the most stable of the crew." And then we got U.S. Agent, and then Taskmaster. I feel like Taskmaster feels ridiculous to be in this group. Not from just a comic book history standpoint, but from their reveal in the movie. Like I feel like when they revealed her, I was done with her. Like I was like, okay, cool, you can go now. Like I don't want to see you anymore. I don't know why, but I just
Well,
was not a fan of her.
in the comics, Taskmaster is such an adversary of Iron Man because he's a former agent of Shield, so he
Mhm.
has like all the information, and then watching the Avengers and how he mimics them, and like they took two really good established characters and kind of
Right.
with Taskmaster and Ghost, and I'm excited. I just hope it's not like a cheesy
Oh, it better not
up
be.
movie.
No, it better not be. No, I'm hopeful. I mean, especially with them going darker with these characters. Like these are your muddy heroes, if anything, if they're heroes. So, like, I mean, the vibe of U.S. Agent's character, the vibe of Bucky when he was kind of even wrestling with it, like that to me, that's all more of a gritty, like, kind of no nonsense type of thing. Now, granted, Yelena brings something different. Red Guardian brings something different.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And I think maybe those two can be your comic relief, and everybody else is playing it real hardcore, and you know what I mean. So I don't know.
They're
I'm excited. I'm really excited about that one. I feel like July
they
2024
really
can't come
dropped the
fast enough.
ball because Zemo is supposed to be the leader of.
Yeah, I've been seeing memes all over the place, like where's Zemo, and I feel like there was opportunity for them to use so many different characters here, and
Well, and Red Hulk, but
yeah,
that was Thunder General Ross, who in real life has passed
he
away.
passed away. Yeah,
But Thunderbolt Ross is the Red Hulk. So I think it's going to be a good movie. I'm excited for it. It kind of sucks that it's 2 years away.
yeah. When I just said that, I was like, wait, 2024? That's not even next year.
But
we are living so far in the future with this.
I think you get the Thunderbolts, and then I think you're going to get the development of the Young Avengers, right?
Yeah.
And then I think when the next two Avenger movies, you're going to get a new lineup of Avengers with. I think Shang-Chi will be you know, Doctor
But
Strange.
bro, like, look, we're talking. I mean, we're all the way in 2024 with this movie,
Yeah.
and then what? Fantastic Four, Avengers: Kang Dynasty, Avengers: Secret Wars. That's 2025. Like, bro, they're better by Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. You better already be showing me some Young Avengers action. That is 3 years away. Like, Haley Steinfeld, like, who's your Kate Bishop right now, who I thought did a great job. Like,
Yeah.
is she gonna be, you know, off and married by then? Like, like what is?
Well, I mean, you've got, you know, her, Ms. Marvel is a Young Avenger.
Yeah,
Riri Williams would be a Young Avenger.
yeah. So they got to give you that before that, man. They cannot hold that for 3 years.
She-Hulk's got to be in there somewhat, you know, because
Yeah.
they're saying she's going to be heavily involved in the universe.
And they keep trying to point out, oh, she's gonna be Avengers. Yeah. And we know
Cassie
that was
Cassie Lang is going to be
Yep.
in there.
And you got to think that they plan on Cassie Lang being in there. I mean, they recast her, and I would hope they wouldn't just recast her for the sake of getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
The only reason I would think they were recasting, that's why I wasn't too upset about it, is that they're now looking towards who is the superhero version of this young character going to be, and let's start building her now, you know? So I don't know. But I don't want to hear 2026, 2027 for Young Avengers. Like, come on, man. I don't know if I'm going to be here.
Well, I mean, and look at it this way: we've got one season of Moon Knight, and we haven't heard. Are we going to hear boo from him again?
True. Well, I mean, I thought we mentioned that he might be.
They've said that season 2 is being developed.
Yeah, but I thought there was something else we said that he might be playing a role in. Not Blade.
He would fit in with Blade.
He would, but that wasn't. Oh, we were talking about maybe Werewolf by Night. That's what we were saying. But that's like.
No, I don't think he'll be in that though.
What were we? Oh, we were just saying it was related to that. Is that what we were saying? Okay. But I think he would fit in well in Blade for sure. And even Daredevil, I think that might be a good fit. You know, when you start getting into those more dark and twisted kind of characters. I don't know. But if Thunderbolts are who they are, maybe we just don't know it yet. But maybe the other side is your Young Avengers.
Could be.
Because that feels like that would be legit. And that feels like that would be super dope to not tell us now. And then suddenly we're going to find out that in July of 2024, we're going to have Shang-Chi and we're going to have, you know, Kate Bishop and Cassie Lang and Riri Williams. And come on, and Shuri, you know. Yes.
I think your prediction time, and I know we're going on 2.5.
Yeah, we'll close it with this. This will be the last bit.
This is my prediction for the next Avengers lineup. I'm just taking 6 characters.
Okay.
Right? So I think you're going to get Shang-Chi. You're going to get a Doctor Strange.
Okay.
You're probably going to get Thor involved some way. Maybe not a full-time leader, but he'll be involved.
Uncle Thor.
Uncle Thor. You're gonna.
We've already had Fat Thor, so
you're gonna get Sam Wilson.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And you're gonna get. I don't think you're gonna get Yelena. I think.
Well, yeah, we're getting her in Thunderbolts.
I think you're gonna get Cersei from the Eternals.
Oh, I forgot about her.
And I don't know who's the sixth member. I think you're going to get a completely different, maybe a Captain Marvel.
Right. So I think, and now you got me like thinking who would kind of be like my dream team. So it's like who I want versus who I think, and maybe a combination of. So I'm going Shang-Chi. I'm going Shuri. I'm going Kate Bishop. I'm going She-Hulk.
and I'm gonna say Riri Williams, and then Doctor Strange. That'll be my 6. We got it recorded so we can see how close we get. I think, did we only have 2 in common?
Doctor Strange and
Shang-Chi.
And somewhere in there, let's be honest, somewhere in there, Spider-Man's gonna fit, right?
Right. We forget about him.
Yeah.
Because he's not like officially.
Yeah.
So, hey, but you know what?
Do you think we're gonna get a lot of people powering through 2.5 hours of you and I talking movies?
Well, let's find out. Well, no one ever comments or anything anyways, but then again, I also don't do a great job of posting stuff. I just share it and it's like you're listening and you can comment on the website easily. So let's say this. I will give a $5 Amazon gift card to anyone who listened this far. And the way that you will prove that you listen this far is that you will go on Twitter and you will tag me to @PastorFury and say hashtag what would be a good hashtag for this?
I powered through 2.5 hours.
We'll say hashtag powered through. Okay.
I'll match his $5.
Oh, look at that. You're up to $10. $10 Amazon gift card. You can send that or put Pastor Fury, hashtag powered through.
Powered through.
Yeah. And we're gonna hook you up. So that's how we know that you're a real one. Correction. This is going to be for the first person that sends that. Just the first person. We're not giving out hundreds of dollars depending on how many listeners. All right. Hit us up. That you made it through the whole thing. And you deserve this money. You deserve the reward if you did it. But you guys, thank you so much for powering through, for making it this far. And we really appreciate you guys. And yes, do hit us up. I know we're on Instagram. So, hit us up on Instagram or reply on the website. Or you can even shoot us an email at hosts@gooddadbaddadpod.com. That's HOSTS at gooddadbaddadpod.com. And or you can hit us up on the website, gooddadbaddadpod.com. And we'll see you guys back here next time. Hopefully, we're going to be talking about some more amazing news from the Bears world. And I'm sure Eric might want to celebrate some Rangers action or something going on with hockey getting started. And we'll see if they announce any other new amazing stuff in the MCU. Maybe we'll even have already seen Andor a bit and have loved it. Well, we'll definitely have seen Andor by then. So either way, I don't want to drag this out into 3 hours. So we'll say adios and we'll catch y'all later.